Hi everybody, today I'm going to be making a delicious loaded sausage omelet. I'm going to make it cheesy with delicious peppers in it, and I know you're going to love it. So let's get started. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using. I've got some onions right here, and I've cut them into about this shape. You know, I don't want them real diced in little tiny pieces. I like big pieces when I make an omelet. I've got some jalapenos, some diced tomatoes, some red sweet bell pepper, green bell pepper. I've got the orange one, 2 tablespoons of water that I'm going to be using for my 3 eggs when I beat them. And I've got just enough sausage, enough that I would use to make 2 nice big sausage patties. And then salt and pepper. I'm going to be using cheddar cheese and a little bit of cilantro at the end, or maybe some parsley. And look guys, you see all this cilantro and all this parsley? I just cut some and I put them in a glass with water, and I keep it right here because it'll be closer to me and it's gonna die out there because I've got tons of it. So I brought some in and I just thought I would show it to you, and just look at how pretty and happy, that is. So if you've noticed, I didn't give you the amounts. I didn't say like 1/4 of a cup or 1/2 a cup, because everybody's different. You just have to think about your family members and who you're fixing the omelet for, and then try and make it according to what they like. So this is what my Ron and I like, and that's what I'm going to put in, but you can make it your own. That's the beauty of an omelet, that you can add hundreds of different things and make it your own. I'm going to go ahead and post everything down here, so that you can see, the ingredients that I use. And I'm also going to put them below in my description box. Okay? So let's get started. So I've got my heat set on medium. I'm going to start out with my sausage. I'm going to put a little bit of Pam spray in my pan, and I'm going to put in my sausage. Just like that. And I like to keep it on like medium low because I don't want to burn it or let it get too dry. Now this is Jimmy Dean sausage. You can use any sausage that you want. You can use ham, you can even use steak. You can use bacon. You can use any meat that you want. Now I like to just move it around because I don't want it to get dry and burned or anything. That's why I keep it on like medium low. I don't want to leave any of it raw. It's ready. You want to make sure that it's not raw, that it's very well cooked, but at the same time you don't want to burn it. And I'm just going to set it aside over here while I get started on my peppers and my onions. So I've got my stainless steel frying pan here, and I've got my heat set on medium. I'm going to spray just a little bit of cooking spray, and then I'm going to put in just a little bit of vegetable oil like that. And I'm going to put in my onions. I'm going to stir them around until they get a little translucent. Just about halfway through. So now I'm going to put in my red peppers, my green peppers, and the orange ones. So now I'm going to put in my jalapenos. Now I removed a little bit of the seeds, and they're really not hot at all. If you don't like jalapenos, you can totally leave them out. Now sometimes I add a little bit of pepper flakes in there. Today I decided to use a jalapeno only because I like the color. So I'm just going to stir them around like this. I don't want them to get very mushy and wilted. I like them to be just a little firm. So I just keep an eye on them, because I don't want to overcook them. But I don't want them raw and hard either. So if I leave my heat on a little bit below medium and just continue to stir them like this, they just cook evenly, and they'll come out just perfect. Okay, so as you can see, my peppers and my onions have gotten just a little soft, but they're still nice and firm. At this time, I'm going to add my tomatoes. Now, I don't want to leave my tomatoes in here too long because I still want them to stay a little bit firm. So I'm just going to move them around like that. And at this time, I'm going to add a little salt to your liking, just like that. A little bit. I don't want to put a lot of salt because my cheese is going to have salt. So, and then pepper. Just a little pepper like that. I'll just move them around like this. And that's good. And this is it. So I'm just going to let them sit there for a little bit. So now I'm going to start whisking my eggs. The reason I'm using 3 eggs is because my Ron and I are going to share this omelet. Now, if it's just an omelet for yourself and you don't want it that big, you can just use 2 eggs, you know, that should be okay. But since we're going to share it, I'm going to use the 3 eggs. I'm going to put in a little bit of pepper. And I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of water in with my eggs because I just think it makes them a little fluffier. You can add milk if you want, or just not add anything at all. And I'm using a big ball whisk because this will give me a real fluffy egg mixture, and it'll give me those little bubbles that I need to get a fluffy omelet. I'm gonna whisk this up really good like this. And you know, when you get those little bubbles in there, you know, you'll get a real fluffy omelet. You see all those bubbles? See? That's what I want. And that's good. So now let's get started on our omelet. So I've got my heat set on number 4, just a little bit less than medium. And I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of butter into my non-stick pan. Now you want to use a non-stick pan because you don't want your omelet to get stuck on the bottom. I'm just going to twirl it around and get the sides of it too. Just like that. And just wait until it melts real nice. Now when you make an omelet, you want to be patient with it because if you want to do it really fast, you know, it might just break on you and you can burn the bottom if you do it too quick. So you want to be patient when you make an omelet. And that's good like that. Now, as you can see, the butter is starting to get cloudy. All those white little patches, that means that your butter is ready. So I'm going to put in my beaten eggs. I'm going to get every little drop. And there's not too much movement because it's not very hot, just hot enough to where we can make our omelet. Now the bottom of it is going to start to curdle a little bit, and it already started doing that a little bit. So I like to just push in the bottom of the egg that has curdled, as you can see. See, just bring it into the center, and then the wet part is going to fill in that gap. Just like this. Take it in and let that gap fill. See? Just like that. And you can just tilt it over. And let it fill like that. There we go. And then just keep doing that until you've used up all your wet egg. Now you don't want to bring it all in all the way around because, you know, if you use up all the wet part, then you might not have enough to fill in the gaps. There we go. And bring it in all the way around. Now as you can see, we've got a little bit of the wet egg on top, but the bottom is looking good. So I like to just slide it over like this and let it get to the sides. And it's starting to get to where it's going to be sliding around, and that's what we want. And the reason you don't want to have it too high is because you can burn the bottom before the top is ready. Now, as you can see, it's starting to move around. That's what I was waiting for. I'll give it just a couple of more seconds. And that's good. So now I'm going to put my cheese. I'm going to put just a little bit all the way around. Just like that. And give it a couple of seconds to settle down. Now I'm going to put in my filling. I'm only going to do half like this. Just like that. And I like for it to overflow on this side, just because it looks good. Just like that. So now I'm going to put in my sausage. Just like that. So now I'm gonna get this part and flip it over. So you want to be careful in the bottom like this. So just like that. And there we go. See? Since it's still hot, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little cheese on top, just like that. And that's good. So now you want to slide it carefully like this. And there's our omelet. I'm going to put just a little bit of the pepper mixture on top, like that. I'll put a little bit on my side and a little bit on my Ron side. Just like that. Let's do a little sausage since we are making a sausage omelet. Like that. So in my oven, I've got some potatoes that I made earlier. And I've kept them warm inside the oven. I'm going to go ahead and put some potatoes right here on the side like this. See? Just like that. And then I'll get my toast. And here's my toast. See my omelet? Ooh. Now, since we're both going to share it, my Ron and I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half. Just like that. See? You know, and then when we have half of it with some potatoes and half with the other potatoes, like this, it's just a perfect breakfast for two. If you have somebody in your house that can eat the whole thing, then good for you. So now for the taste test. Oh, and look at how nice and moist this is and cheesy. Oh, you know what? I forgot the cilantro. We'll just put a little cilantro on mine because I love it. Just like that. And my potatoes. You know, my potatoes, it was just one large russet potato. And I cut it up into nice big cubes. And then I just fried it with just a little bit of oil and some paprika, salt and pepper. That was it. A delicious breakfast. So this is my sausage and egg omelet. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and tell them Rachel from Rachel Cooks with Love made it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Just press right there on the word subscribe. And if you have a comment, send it to me. Thank you very much.